Hey everybody, how you doing? I completely missed that I wanted to live stream today, so I really just had a few minutes to prepare. I hope everything is working fine. Just quickly tested the microphone and immediately pressed the go live button. But hey, you probably can tell me if everything works and then we can start. Hey, how are you doing? I know I've been away for quite a long time, actually. I mean, you probably know that I was on holiday. But after that, I got sick and it probably lasted for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. It's so incredible. Yeah, incredibly terrible, probably. And yeah, I was like, I had a flu for like, yeah, I think like 2 weeks, and then I I still didn't really recover well, so I thought I just take the time off and yeah, go live whenever I can. So probably you've seen a few videos, but yeah, so those things I can do from time to time. But when I'm sick, I just need some time to rest and get back into shape and feel fine again. So, but yeah, no, it's all good. I've finally recovered from flu, so it's fine. Holidays have been really amazing. So yeah, maybe I can also talk a bit about that if you like to hear. But yeah, it was also really crazy. I don't know if you're aware that. So me and my family, we went to Spain, more specific to Mallorca, which is the German island in Spain. Or probably I wouldn't say it's German. Like I mean there were like the region where we were had like most of the people were from UK. So I think like 70-80% was UK. And usually I already made holidays in Cala Rajada, which is another area which is now famous for crazy German tourists and a lot of party and stuff. And I like to avoid that a bit, so we went to a region that is a bit like not really so like the main party area. So it's more settled down and so on. And yeah, most of the people there, they weren't speaking German. So I know this from Mallorca, which is crazy. You go to a different country where usually none of the people speak German, but actually Mallorca, they Cala Rajada, they speak German mostly. Yeah, because there are so many German tourists. But where we are, or we were too, which is called Alcudia, and that is a more like settled down. It's not so crazy. It's not like main party area. And there are many people from UK. Yeah, Dennis. Yeah, the Germans pronounce it sometimes different. But I think like I don't really know how it's called in Spanish, because Cala Rajada, it's with a J, and I know because I started to learn Spanish because I wanted to speak when I'm going back to Mallorca or flying back to Mallorca. I want to communicate with the Spanish people there in their language as much as I can, and they pronounce the J different, and a double L is pronounced like J, and a J is also pronounced different. It's crazy. I don't really know how it's pronounced, Cala Rajada, but yeah, who knows. Hola, buenos dias. Yeah. It's all I have learned since a few weeks. I mean, okay, I can speak a bit Spanish. I'm probably not going to do that here, but I can say things like gracias, de nada, hola, adios, and those. I also learned about like animals and food and stuff. Yeah, so I'm learning with the Duolingo app. It's not an advertisement here, but actually this app is really amazing. So. And I try to do at least a few minutes a lesson like every day. Today I couldn't do it, but yeah, I just like to do it. So when I'm back in Spain, like next year, I hope I can talk with a few people. I don't know why, but I think like it is so much fun to learn something new, to learn a new language. Because yeah, then you have to give your brain some different food than IT and tech stuff, right? So from time to time, you just need to learn new things that are outside of your comfort zone. I can help you with your German accent. Ah, thank you. Yeah, it's nice. Hey, everybody. Moin, Christoph. It's great to see you. By the way, I will look at the GitHub issue tomorrow. So tomorrow I probably have some more time to look into it. By the way, thank you so much for your support. It's really great help on the GitHub repo. Yeah, I don't know why the last video about the boilerplates repo didn't really work so well. So I currently have kind of like I don't know, a decline in views, a decline in engagement for the videos. I don't know what is the reason behind it. Maybe the videos just suck, but I don't know. Maybe the topics aren't right, or maybe it's summertime, people are not watching the videos regularly. I don't actually know, but yeah. So currently it's a bit hard for me to find out what are the right topics, and I have planned many projects, but I know I always talk about the projects that I want to do, and for some reason I never get to it. Yeah, I have so much stuff on my list. I still have the main job, then I was on holiday, and I had to work more and more to keep up with all of the stuff that happened during that time, and it's really crazy. I hope I get back to a schedule in a few weeks so that I finally have some more energy, and I just have to change a few things in my life. That's what I just realized. I can't go on like this forever and ever. I need to, I don't know, I need to change something drastically and maybe not stress myself too much with these projects. And yeah, the holidays were a great experience, but when you're back from vacation after a few weeks, then you get sick and stuff, and everything is gone. The whole relaxing stuff is gone, and you're getting stressed again after a few weeks. It's so crazy, and I just want that to change at some point. Yeah, don't worry, I'll still make videos and stuff, but yeah. I don't know if the thumbnail is the issue, maybe. So once I looked at the thumbnail, I kind of realized that the strategy for the thumbnail wasn't like the best. So it kind of didn't make sense to me once I had a second look at it. And YouTube has just released a new feature where you can do A, B, and C testing for thumbnails. So you can actually upload 3 thumbnails. And YouTube by itself is going to test what thumbnail is going to work best for your audience, and then they switch it. And I think that's what I just gonna try. So I will talk to the guy who's making the thumbnails and say, look, I want 2 or 3 versions of it. I'm just gonna upload the version that makes the most sense. And yeah, we're gonna see. That will cost a bit more, but I hopefully will also increase the numbers. And obviously I'm trying to find more projects or more video topics that I believe are more interesting for self-hosting HomeLab community, because I sometimes cover a few tools, I cover a few non-open source projects, and I feel like those videos don't always work well. So I think I need to get back to the older days where I just covered a project, an open source project or a tool, I made a tutorial about it, and that's it, and it's gonna be a great video. And maybe I need to return to this a bit more and start running some more self-hosting projects in my HomeLab, like installing a new storage server, finding out some new gear for my server rack equipment and stuff. So something that I can show that is a bit more interesting. But yeah, we will see. So I'm continue working on those projects. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, supporting the channel, and the live streams are always a lot of fun. If you speak Spanish, they will complain you don't speak Mallorca Catalan. Yeah, I don't really know. From what I've heard, Catalan is not so much different, but yeah, there's obviously some difference. I don't really know, but yeah, I will just start with the regular Spanish. So Catalan is, I don't know. If I would ever move to Mallorca, I probably would learn Catalan, but hey, come on, This is something that probably will never happen. Una cerveza, por favor. Yeah, that's anything you need. So you don't need more. You can probably order some food. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah. But because I don't drink beer, I don't drink cerveza, so probably I just say un agua, por favor, something like that. Aqua con gas. That's all I have to order. That's fine. Yeah, that will be a lot of fun. So I'm really excited to see how good my Spanish skills are next year and what you can actually learn in 1 year. So if that's enough to talk to the people that are living there, or if you can still just order some food and something to drink and that's it. What I really like about Mallorca is the people living there. So and not the German tourists and not the English crazy tourists. Yeah, so not party tourists. So, I really hate this so much. Honestly, for me as a German, it is so embarrassing to see how they are behaving, right? When they're visiting a different country, right? Like in Germany, every German complains about foreign people coming to Germany, not speaking German perfectly and behaving differently and so on. And when we are going to a different country, we are the worst tourists ever. It's just so embarrassing. I really hate this. And there were so many places that are really full of pollution and just crap lying around. I really hate this so much. So when I'm going to a different country and I'm just visiting it, or I just want to be respectful to the people living there, and I try to be friendly, and of course you sometimes making mistakes or asking stupid questions. But what I usually the experience that I make is that people like when you're respectful, right? So when you're going to a different country or people having a different culture, you're not just pointing the finger at them and saying, oh, those crazy idiots, what's so on. So you really have respect for the different or the foreign culture and try to understand it or be interested. Whenever I started a discussion, if it's just I talked English or I spoke in English with the people there. But if you show interest in what's going on, they were the friendliest people ever. And what I also loved is like driving in Mallorca. It was so easy because everyone is driving slow. Everyone is not so stressed, yeah. And there, like in German, everybody's angry. Like if you're just driving a bit too slow, like people are yelling at you in Germany. It's crazy. So driving a car in Germany is, but in Spain, or I don't know if it's the same in the country, but on Mallorca, it's everything. I mean, probably because most of the people are tourists anyway, so they're driving slow because they don't know how to drive there. But it's so easy, right? So everything like you know it from any other country in Europe. So it's really, really nice. No, I just went 1 week. So we just wanted to try it out because our son is 6 years old, and we were going by plane for the first time, and I just thought, 1 week is enough for the first visit, but next year we're definitely gonna stay like for 2 weeks. Yeah. I always try to learn a little language for whatever I'm going. Yeah, that is really nice. It's absolutely. I have made the same experience, Timothy, and yeah, that's really the case. Yeah, thank you, Jutba. Yeah, it has been a long time since I've been live, but yeah. I also thought a lot about, I think the last live streams, I had a very, very specific topic talking about some tech stuff and so on. But I really believe we should make those live streams a bit more like unorganized, so on. I'm gonna, from time to time, I have a topic that I want to talk about, but finding a topic every 2 weeks is gonna be stressful to me again. So I'm probably just gonna talk about what's currently going on, what projects I'm working on, maybe some non-technical stuff. I think that is gonna be better. Thank you for all your recommendations. So we had a great hotel. I think we're gonna go to the same place because we know where the beach is, where the hotel is, where you can buy some food, where's the grocery store, and so on. So I think that's gonna be the same location. I think that is much easier when you're going to the same location the second time because you know where everything is. You don't have to discover something new. I mean, you can if you go by car. You are renting a car for 2 weeks. You can still drive anywhere you like. So it's really easy. But you have your place where you know there I can buy something and so on. So that's what we're gonna do. So we probably go to the same hotel. It's nothing special, nothing too crazy, but it's nice and it's good. And the people were friendly. They had good offerings for food and stuff, and that's fine. The bed was terrible. It's like all hotel beds are terrible, but yeah, I'm not really. It doesn't have to be luxury, right? So I'm not that uh, type of a person that yeah needs that luxury stuff. By the way, that was also pretty interesting to see. Like Alcudia in Mallorca, I can definitely recommend that region. This is so nice. They have an older city where you can go. So there is a modern part of the city. There's an older part of the city where you can still see some visit some of those buildings that have this flair. It's really nice, and it's a great place to be, and it's a beautiful beach. So I think that was the most beautiful beach at Mallorca where I've ever been. The water is so crystal clear. It is really really amazing. So Alcudia is definitely a great place to be. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's it about my vacation. I'm sorry I didn't show you any pictures, but honestly, I wanted to take the time spending it with my family. I really thought a lot about because most YouTubers or creators you see they post pictures of their trips and stuff, and if you are on Instagram or TikTok or X, you have to post yeah all the time. But I really specifically I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I just wanted to keep those moments for me, and I didn't want to share it with the world. Not because I don't trust you or anything like this, but I feel like you cannot really enjoy those moments when you have the or when you feel forced to always share every moment, share every thought with the world. I think this is kind of a trap where you can fall for if you are a creator online because like you start to think that you have to always do that, right? And this is also particularly a problem not only when you're going to vacation that you have the feeling, I need to show something to the world or to the community. It's also when something actually happens. Something popped on the news or I don't know. Like for example, this topic with like Red Hat is gonna change the license or something like that. And as a creator, especially if something is happening in the same space, you always feel forced to share your opinion. And you start believing that people always want to hear your opinion, which is actually not true. Something you just have to not say something about it. Yeah. And this is something that I just realized for myself that there are areas, that there are topics that I just don't like to share my opinion. And I think this is really nice. It puts a lot of stress away when you just realize, okay, I want to have those moments with my family, or I want to have that opinion just for myself. There's no need to share it with anyone. It also feels like kind of arrogant when you think like, oh, you're such an important person that you have to put out each and everything and you have to share your opinion to each and every topic, even if you don't understand the details of it. And I think I've come down a bit more to, okay, so I'm not obligated to be on X, to be on Instagram, to be on TikTok, even if I have my channel here, but and this goes even further like this. This is, I even thought about some of the content that I'm making, right? So do I make the content that I really want to make, or do I just make the content because I think, oh, there is something new, I have to say something about it because I'm a tech creator? No, I don't have to, right? This is something that is currently going on in my brain, and it's not fully thought out, so I'm still in that process, I would say. But it's just a current thought that I have, that I believe, okay, well, maybe I should not share each and everything. So I have a very specific audience. I have a very specific role in tech space, in the HomeLab space. And my role is, I think, to make good videos that teach something that goes a bit above and beyond what other regular tech creators do. And I think that is the exact spot that I should keep focusing on. And I should not start to become an influencer, right? I should not start to be an influencer like that has to say, like somebody who wants to say something to each and every topic that is going on. No, this is not my role. So I don't see myself as much as an entertaining person. The same is for the live stream. Like for the live stream, you will think like you have to pick a tech topic and then talk about it. It's something like a podcast because everybody's doing podcasts and podcasts are so successful. No, I don't have to do it. Right? I can just go live and talk with you, the community, about stuff that is interesting for our community. That is, or if you're interested in something that is going on in my life, all right, fine. But I don't have to run a podcast. I don't have to be on Instagram. I don't have to make shorts. I don't have to make videos about this and that specific new HomeLab product that has come out. No. Right? Like with the Ugreen NAS. Everybody was talking about Ugreen NAS, and I said, I'm not interested in this, so I'm just going to skip it, right? So and I think I need to do this more. I need to focus even much more on the stuff where I believe I'm really good at, which is, again, not making product reviews, right? It's not, I think I'm not really great when it comes to product reviews. What I'm great at is like educating, like making tutorial videos interesting. And I think this is really, I have to go back to the roots even more than I'd done it before. And I think this is going to be more successful. It's going to be more rewarding and more satisfying for me personally. And sure, Christoph, you also say like privacy is important. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. It is so stupid. Like tech creators on YouTube that talk about privacy and stuff, and then they share their life with everybody on X or it's kind of funny. This is a stupid thought that I had, but it's really like, yeah, look, it doesn't always make sense what people are telling you, right? Have you been on Mallorca during the Euro football game, Germany versus Spain? No. No, I had returned long ago, and I was watching that football match at my parents' place. It was on this. Don't get me started with football. Honestly, I'm really currently very excited about the football Euro Cup. Right? I was watching many games, and that particular game, Germany versus Spain, that was a game full of emotions. Right? It was up and downs, and honestly, because I was just making vacation at Mallorca in Spain, and I really like this country. I really like this culture. I like the language. I think it's an awesome place to be. And I really like the football team of Spain. It's amazing. And that game was really... but during that game, I just hated the Spanish team a little more than before. Yeah, it's not just because of that stupid... handball. I think it's called handball, right? Which is a stupid term, but I think it's called like that, right? The same like it's called offside. Yeah, I thought English in English you would have different terminologies for those rules in football matches, but you actually have the same terminology is like in Germany. It's kind of translated the same way, which is a bit weird because it's never the same in English. But yeah, that football match. That was really, I don't know. Do you watch football? Are you interested in sport? I don't really know, but that game was really, really crazy. Influencers sell merch, IT enthusiasts share knowledge. Yeah, well, there's some truth in that, I would say. I'm not into football, but a 12-year-old daughter is a fan, and I've been a fan model for this game. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, that was really crazy. I mean, we have so many. I just scratched so many different topics, and I'm just reading through all of the comments, and they were all around. So I'm probably gonna switch those topics. Exactly, that's what I found strange. Almost all YouTubers were going on and on about that Ugreen-ness. Yeah, it's maybe a topic that we need to talk about, because it's currently something that I'm thinking about, right? And I know I made a lot of videos in the past that were about products and about advertisement and so on. And I'm going to continue doing advertisements in my videos. This is just the best way to make money on YouTube, and I can share some good products with you that I feel are useful, right? But it's but I think at some point, and I think I talked about this before, like the problem that you fall for when you were starting making YouTube videos is that you believe you have to actually do the same stuff that other people are doing, right? Because you see what is going to be successful on tech YouTube, and then I don't know, right? You're doing the same stuff. Your Ansible Zemmer videos are amazing. Thank you so much. There's gonna be a new video coming out, I think next week, actually, about this. So it's gonna be cool, yeah. But yeah, this is really a topic that I've thought a lot about, right? So what exactly, what should I focus on? And I really think, because the problem that I had was, my idea was that I should start exploring different types of content, that I should try to experiment, because that's what every YouTube guru is telling you. Hey, you have to experiment, you have to find new types of content that you can make and so on. And I tried to do that, yeah. So I tried to do, okay, so maybe I should do some product reviews from time to time. Maybe I should do some comparison videos of products and so on. And I think those comparison videos are actually pretty good. But what I didn't realize is, well, I'm not a good influencer. I'm not a good product reviewer. I'm not really great at hyping something, right? Because I'm not that type of a person. I'm settled down. So I can get excited about something, but it has to be very, very specific to what I enjoy. It has to be it has to be a true interest of mine. So otherwise I cannot really hype people about something that I don't like. So you probably will hear this in the videos when I try to review a product that I personally don't like myself so much, right? So, for example, the Zima Blade video was such a video where I thought, like, okay, so I'm gonna test it and it's gonna be a cool product, but actually, honestly, I don't know what to do with it next. So it's gonna be a product that I told the guys from Zima or from Ice Whale, yeah, look, you can send it for me to review. They don't want anything in return, but I'm just gonna have a look at it. Maybe I'm gonna make a video. But actually, you will definitely feel like this is not my true interest, right? So I'm not really that much interested in hardware. That is just the truth, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you. So for some devices, I'm really interested. For example, when it comes to networking firewall, I'm pretty excited about those type of products, but they are usually very, very expensive. So I usually never buy those type of expensive products. So what I have right now, what my company Sophos has got me for free, that is totally sufficient. That is more than I ever will need in my home lab, and it's totally fine. So I'm I'm probably not gonna buy in the near future a new networking product, right? And for home server, so the Ugreen NAS, for example, is another example of a device where I feel like, yeah, look, I could actually make a video about it, but why should I? So what is the goal of that video? Is it, and I think those product reviews just serve one particular purpose. And that is for people that want to buy that product. They want to know if it's good or not. But the problem with those product reviews is if YouTubers get something for free, the company wants something in return. So they usually not gonna say, hey, I'm going to send you this product. But yeah, you can do whatever you want with it. So of course they want their products to be represented in a good way. And I'm not the type of a person that would go and shred a product into pieces, right? And or would complain about each and every aspect of a product. I wouldn't feel good with this, right? But at the same time, I would also feel bad when I just talk positively about a product. So I'm in kind of a conflict situation here because I want to be honest with you, but I don't want to be unfair to the company sending the product. And I know I'm overcomplicating those things. I'm so stupid because most other YouTube creators, they would just say, oh yeah, give me that stuff. I'm gonna make a video. They're just gonna turn on the camera and say, oh yeah, this and that. Fine, okay. But I'm not that type of a person. So I'm having like 100 different thoughts and complaints and fears in my mind. So could I be wrong about something? So maybe I say something wrong in a video about a product, then the company is mad at me because I said something wrong. Maybe, or as I said, yeah, I want to present a product in a good and a positive way, but at the same time, want to be honest. It's a conflict that you can never really make it as good as you want. Yeah, you can only lose when you're making those type of videos, right? Because you're getting something that you probably will never use in your own environment, and yeah. It's gonna be, so who is this helpful for, right? So there are probably a few people that would love to buy a Zima Blade or a Ugreen NAS, okay? But how many people are interested in those type of products? I don't really know. Maybe like 10% of the community, maybe even less. And so I'm actually making a video just for like a very small percentage of the community or the audience. And I'm having those type of problems. And I didn't really start it with about like, you need the time to research a product. You need the time to properly test it and so on. Record the B-rolls, start the video, start writing a script and so on. It's actually not really worth it. So I'm really, and I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, because yeah, I don't know how many creators have this kind of the same problems, but that's really the struggles that I had in the past with making those videos. And I think I just need to stop doing this, right? So hardware stuff or hardware videos, I think I just want to make hardware videos when it's actually something that I personally buy. For example, you will see in the next weeks, because I've ordered a lot of different parts for two very interesting projects. A storage server and a Kubernetes cluster with Raspberry Pis. And I ordered a case for those Raspberry Pis. And that particular case, I did not talk to the company before buying it, or I didn't say like, okay, can you send me a sample, or I'm making a video about it. It's not going to be a sponsorship, right? I just bought it myself because I think it's going to be useful for the stuff that I do. And I'm not reviewing this product. I just say like, look, this is what I've got for the project. And I think this is going to be a much more, satisfying approach for me. It's also great. Because I have an actual use of this. The same for the storage server. So I ordered a bunch of different hardware components that I will share in the video, but I bought it myself. So I didn't receive anything for free, right? So and I think this is probably the better way to actually do it. Yeah. But I don't know, so you can share your opinions. Maybe some people are okay with that. By the way, I got some very different responses from some of the advertisements in the videos, for example, like Twingate sponsorships and so on, where many people for those videos were complaining about it in the comments, like, look, this is just pure advertisement and blah blah blah. But what was really interesting when I was reading some of those comments, that there were people saying, oh, I like those type of videos, so please don't stop showing us products because we want to know how to use it. But this is particularly true for something that is in the HomeLab space, that is free, that is not hardware focused. So any software type of product, I think that would work well. But those hardware, I just don't feel comfortable with it. I know I talked too much about this, but it's actually something that I'm thinking over and over. But yeah. No, I didn't hear about the traffic CVE, by the way. So probably we'll look it up later. Do you want to stick to the solo creator way, or are you also into cooperation with other people, and not necessarily other creators, but people who are into interesting tech stuff? That's actually a good question. So I think I'm gonna continue as a solo creator because I'm not really good when it comes to collaborations. I'm also not good with socializing. I don't know why, but it's like I just like to do the stuff that I do, and I like to share it. But I don't really like doing this with another person, or I don't know. There are maybe just two, or maybe one or two people in YouTube HomeLab space that I would do collaborations with. And they're just very few. So one or two persons that I would do a project with together. But then you also have to think about, like, so if you're doing it on a regular cadence, you need to be in the same time zone, which is always a problem for me and so on. So I'm probably just gonna continuing making videos myself. Keep it to the hardware that you use. Love and want to tell people about your idea. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's yeah, I hope this is a great idea. I mean, we will see in the future how that turns out. But I think, like, making videos about products that people send me or companies send me, I just don't see this is going to be a successful way doing this YouTube thing, right? Again, I'm not really good at product reviews. I'm great when it comes to teaching stuff, explaining things. This is really the area also that I personally enjoy. I don't like making those product reviews, to be honest. I really like more to make tutorial videos or explain something. I also thought about, so maybe in the future, when I'm done with most of my projects, I'm gonna return back to making some of those general type of tutorial videos that are not specific about a tool. For example, there are so many interesting things that I could teach, like how is DNS working, how is TCP/IP working, or what is the TLS, how the TLS handshake is working, those type of things. There are also topics that interest me, or maybe IPv6, right? Something you never really have many videos about because tech creators don't like to research those complicated topics. But for me personally, this is something that I absolutely enjoy, and I think it would be great to make some videos about those topics, but not in the near future because I have so many projects that I want to finish first. But once I'm done with that, I'm probably going to return back to those type of videos. In the past, I've also done videos about SSH keys, for example, right? So this is not very specific about HomeLab. This is not specific about a specific product, but it's a valuable topic that everybody in IT has to learn about. So maybe those type of videos would also be good. Yeah. But yeah, we will see. SSH made easy. A guide ranking the current. Yeah, I'm probably not going to make it too detailed. So I think, like, you have to be in that middle spot, right? So what I explained a few minutes ago. So I like to go above and beyond what most other creators do. So in terms, when I'm thinking about an SSH video, okay, so I would love to make an SSH video that explains how to generate those keys, how to upload them and so on. But I probably would also love to explain what is actually happening there, what is the difference between a private and a public key, and how is the symmetric and asymmetric encryption working? How is the key exchange working? Maybe that's probably an interesting part that I would love to touch on. That is probably going a bit above and beyond just the instructions, right? So, I mean, you could create an SSH key and upload it to a server with like literally 2 commands, okay? So it's not very complicated. But to actually make it interesting, I think there is an opportunity to talk about what is a private and a public key actually. So why do we actually need this? Because it's kind of a very interesting technology behind it, why we use it. So for me, this is interesting, and I believe for you as well, right? And we have those opportunities with other topics as well. Like, for example, when I'm thinking about TLS, like the TLS handshake process, right? So what are the different phases of client and server hello and acknowledge and stuff, right? So that is what I could show in a video. But at some point, of course, I want to stop. So I'm not going to talk about the ciphers and about the cryptography algorithms and stuff. This is going to be too complicated. I mean, I'm probably going to mention, okay, so here's the key, the cipher exchange and stuff, and both client and server, they agree on a specific a cipher and algorithm. Yeah, okay, fine, so good. But that's it, right? I'm not gonna go into how that actually works. But I think it's also much more interesting than just typing in HTTPS in your browser and then, yeah, okay, then you have your website and it's secured and fine. So I think my real experience and where I think I could be most valuable is somewhere in the middle, right? So not too beginner, but also not on an architect level. Somewhere in between, somewhere intermediate. I think that would be better. That's just like how I see it. And I think there are good opportunities for those type of basic tutorials. Like I said, IPv6, TLS, handshake, or maybe also VPN protocols, who knows, right? That's gonna be rsync. Yeah, maybe also a great idea. Yeah, I think this is gonna be much more valuable than a video about, oh, there's a new Ugreen NAS coming out, or oh, the Zima Ice Whale released a new Zima board, or I think you get what I'm saying, right? I think you get what the direction should be. And I think I'm going to be much more happy with this direction. There are a few projects left that I just need to finish. But once I finish, I probably going back to the drawing board and going through my ideas and projects again and finding some good spots where I can place some educational content and maybe incorporate that into my other HomeLab projects. I think that could be interesting. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm using those live streams for me as brainstorming session, but I think it's going to be interesting for you as well to hear what I'm thinking about and what my struggles are. That's why we're doing this. Yeah. By the way, I just wanted to thanks, Travis. Yeah, it's so true what you say. It's really funny. So you always hear that when you're starting to make YouTube, right? You always hear like, be authentic, pick the topics that you like. Those phrases you hear all the time, and they are absolutely true. But the reality is that from time to time, you will face problems. You're going off the road from time to time, and it's sometimes difficult to return to your path and really going back to the stuff that made you successful, right? Sometimes you really yeah, when you're following this journey, you will have so many problems, and sometimes you just, yeah, as I said, you're going off road, yeah, and you're kind of losing track of what you actually wanted to do. And that's really hard, and then you need to think about that. You need to be open and honest with yourself and ask yourself, is what I'm doing, is this what I want to do? So does it make me happy? And to some extent, like, the vacation was even when it was just short, but for me it was a good week to leave that alone, right? Leave that for a while and coming back to myself, right? Kind of like, sounds crazy, but actually it's true. When you're just in working mode, you sometimes don't ask yourself those questions. You just continue doing and working and getting stressed. But I think, like, once I figured that problem out, and I'm finally happy again with the stuff that I want to do, with the content topics and with the advertisements and stuff, and I finally have a good plan how I want to do it, and I returned back to the roots. I'm gonna be strong. So I'm gonna be like, I think it's an opportunity to grow and become stronger. And yeah, that's kind of, it sounds like I'm having a terrible time, but it's actually not true. I'm just thinking a lot about those topics, and yeah, if you have some time off, you start asking yourself those questions. What I love about your videos as well is you teach on how to find solutions by yourself instead of showing every step and click. Thank you so much. It's kind of funny that you say this, because today I've worked on a video script where I was explaining that part. So what I said, like, in the script, I made some notes about what I want to say is that sometimes I love to find out something by myself. So I don't watch a video right from the beginning. When I want to learn something new, I don't know if you're doing this, because there has to be a way you find my videos, right? Okay, so you probably open YouTube, you type in a question or something you want to learn, and then you probably come to my videos, right? But that's actually not the way how I approach it, because most of the time I just love to find out something myself. So I'm not searching it on Google. I just start doing something, right? So I experiment with something, and I try to find it out myself. I try to find out how that particular item functions, or for example, a new Linux server distribution. For example, I want to try out CentOS, or I want to try out Alma Linux. I could go on YouTube and search a video about Alma Linux, or Alma Linux versus Ubuntu, or what is different, and blah, blah, blah. But I usually never do this, right? So I usually would just download the ISO, I would create a VM, install it, and see where it takes me. And then I let the fun, flow, and it's kind of like the natural interest that comes along with trying out something. Yeah, for example, I just want to find out, okay, so what is the package manager? What type of processes are running on this distro? Or I don't know, those things, right? I just try it out myself. And only when I hit a problem or I hit a wall where I don't know what to do, then I go and search for a tutorial, or then I go and read the documentation or find out something. That's actually a pretty important step in IT in general, I would say, that you not just blindly follow the tutorials, that you still try to solve it yourself. That's also what I told the people at the company when I was teaching the new employees or the new people that joined the company and were asking for questions. So I always try to motivate them to experiment and try to find out things on their own. Like, if they were asking me, okay, so, hey, Christian, I don't know, how can I connect the IPsec client to the firewall? For some reason, it does not work. So can you help me? So I usually would never go to this person and say, okay, so you have to do this, you have to do this and this and that. So I always like sat down with a person asking, okay, so what actually are you trying to do, right? So it's first question that I have. So what exactly are you doing, right? So what do you want? Because that most of the people don't actually know this, or they don't specify this in the first place. They say like, okay, I got a problem, but yeah, at some point I don't know what to do. It's like the same question is like, okay, so what actually do you want to do, right? And sometimes people tell you something, okay, I want to access this particular server. And then you realize, so wait, why do you actually set up an IPsec tunnel? You don't need that. We are in the same network. You just have to connect to that machine or something like that, right? So from this very first question, you sometimes get like what people are doing wrong. And then I try to take them on a process, on a road, like take them by the hand and say, okay, so you want to establish a tunnel to that device, or you want to access their connection. So where is this server located? Is it in the same network? Is it not? And asking through that. And then people mostly figure it out by themselves. It's kind of funny. You don't have to explain anything to those people. Mostly people are able to figure out the problem by themselves just by pointing them in the right direction. I think this is actually, I think that is probably what I should, maybe it would also be a really nice idea to include in some of the tutorial videos, because like coming a bit away from this like clear instructions, so command, so this is the first command, then you type in the second command, then the third command, and bam, you got yourself a Kubernetes cluster. So my approach would be like, okay, so wait, what the hell? So why do we actually need this command? What this command is actually doing, and why are we doing it? I think this is much more important and valuable in IT in general. And yeah, that's why it's a great sentence. Yeah, not just showing each and every step and click, and here you have to do this, you have to do this and that. So they're teaching the concepts is something that is much more important, and people are able to figure out those problems by themselves. I'm just reading about your comments. Really interesting. You agree? I'm the same. I also prefer to do my own adventure, and a lot of questions are answered by the official documentation, which is strangely enough many avoid nowadays. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm also a bit guilty of that. So I don't like to read the documentation. But again, what I do is, like you said, yeah, going to your own adventure, and when you're hitting a wall or when you have a problem, reading the documentation. Of course, there are sometimes applications or things where you have to read the documentation before. Obviously, when the architecture is new, when you don't really know how this program functions, okay, so then you probably should take a look at the documentation before trying it out. I agree. But yeah, at some point, I still like to explore it myself and see, okay, so I'm just going to try it out and maybe go through some trial and error process. So maybe it's not working at the first try. That's totally fine. I think once I installed Linux the first time, I installed it 5 times because I installed it, that was successful, and then I went into a config file and I did something wrong and it break the installation, and then I just reinstalled it, and I did that like 4 or 5 times until I figured out what I was doing wrong. But yeah, sometimes you have to go through that process. I think it's, and of course today we have instructions and tutorials and AI for each and every question you have, but it's also like I'm not gonna start a discussion about AI, but it's also like a bad habit that you can start is by just typing in questions into ChatGPT and just follow blindly what this program is suggesting you. So sometimes you have to try it yourself and see why it's not working. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when you're stuck, sometimes you just need to talk about it. Like asking the right questions is most of the time helping people. Okay, vegan salad. I just need to read your message. Sorry that I ask a question so off topic. Yeah, don't worry about it. You can ask questions. I don't have the time to always answer each and everything. How did you do that SSH two-factor with your Apple Watch? I saw it in one of your videos. Ah, right. Yeah, I can tell you. There's a simple solution for it. I'm using 1Password, where I'm storing my SSH keys. And 1Password has a developer function that enables a connection to the SSH agent on your workstation. And when you enable two-factor authentication using Apple Watch, then it's offering you to authenticate to your server using the Apple Watch. So it's then using the SSH key from your 1Password file, and then it's passing it to the SSH agent. It's a pretty cool feature, and I didn't talk about it yet on the channel because, yeah, again, that would be just advertising a product. Yeah, so why would I make a video about it? But maybe it might be interesting for some things that I do. Yeah, who knows? I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's a cool feature, right? To authenticate to the servers using Apple Watch. By the way, I don't know what's going on with Apple. Are you aware of anything that is going on? I really hoped they would announce some new Apple computers. Where are those devices? Where is the Mac Studio? There's no Mac Studio M3. I wanted to get this machine. I'm waiting for it. No, I probably have to wait for the Mac Studio M4. I don't know what's taking so long. I don't know. It's really, really crazy. I just want this Mac Mini to be replaced with a Mac Studio. I think that would be so much better. But yeah, I don't know. Apple seems to work on new iPhones, and if we ever would need another iPhone model. Yeah, we will see. I'm not really confident that they will announce new Mac Studios. They probably will do a refresh of the Mac Mini, of the iMac, maybe also of, I don't know, the MacBooks. Yeah, they always do refresh of MacBook. But I don't want a MacBook. I want a Mac Studio. So it's really disappointing. At least for me. But yeah, who knows? Maybe I need to wait until October. So if they don't announce a Mac Studio in October, I'm gonna be really pissed off. Yeah, well, it works pretty. The Mac Mini works well, but honestly, there were situations where I was hitting a limit, especially when running Docker containers and virtual machines in the background. So then the 16 gigabytes of memory just were not enough. Yeah, maybe that's also part of my use case, but also when I'm doing video editing, especially when I'm doing recordings or video editings at the same time when I'm running virtual machines, then it's gonna be a problem. And then I also have problems with audio and video devices, so that it's just not enough power to do that. But honestly, I'm probably using the Mac Mini as I would use a Mac Studio. I should have bought the Mac Studio in the first place, right? As a video creator, you probably have to buy the Mac Studio as it is in the name Studio. This is a creator device. And I thought I'm just gonna go the cheap route and the Mac Mini would be sufficient enough. But apparently that was a mistake. But I'm not really afraid of it because the Mac Mini is still a valuable device. So I probably could just sell it because Apple devices, they don't lose value. So you still get your money back when you're selling a used device from Apple. and then I can just upgrade to the Mac Studio and I'm gonna be fine probably. I had to upgrade 64 gigabyte. Yeah, yeah, and honestly, that's always been the problem with Apple, that their upgrades for memory and also disk space, they are so expensive. They are robbing you, right? So this is really absolutely insane how much expensive those stupid upgrades are. And you never have to make this mistake when buying Apple devices, that you buy an entry-level device and then upgrade it. You should definitely buy the high-end device at the lowest spec. So then you're mostly getting the best value. So it's going to be a Mac Studio, and probably it's going to be an M4 Max. It's not going to be an M4 Ultra. I don't want to spend like 4,000 euros or 4K just for a new computer. But on the other hand, I made the same mistake with the Mac Mini, because I didn't want to buy the Mac Studio, so I thought the Mac Mini is gonna be sufficient. So maybe when I recap, maybe I should get the Mac Studio Ultra, the M4, I don't know. But it's like, I think the M4 Max will be around like 2K, and the Ultra will be around 4K. This is like double the price, which is really insane. So you have to be very, very cautious doing this. And I think like if for most of the time the Mac Mini is okay, I just need a little more power. So maybe the entry-level Mac Studio will be fine. Who knows? Solomat, thank you for being here. Yeah. Don't miss the live stream in 2 weeks again. So we are doing this on a two-weekly cadence. I'm looking at getting certified with Proxmox. Really? I thought about taking some of their certification exams just for finding out how good they are, but yeah. I have so much other stuff to do, so it's probably not going to be a Proxmox certification for me, but I think Proxmox is also a very interesting topic that I want to touch on more. It's really, really useful. So I definitely will do some more projects around this. But first, the new Kubernetes cluster with Raspberry Pis. I just want this project to get done, and the storage server. Those are really the two problems that I currently have in my HomeLab, and I need to go on with those projects. But yeah, I hopefully will have to tell some news about those in the next live stream in 2 weeks, because then I probably should have the parts, and I should have started exploring how good they are, and I probably can give you some updates to this. And when I'm finished with those projects, you will also get a video about it. No, I don't have any experience in Kubernetes certifications. It's definitely a part that I want to tackle, but probably next year. So this year is not a year for certifications for me personally. But yeah. What made you consider a Raspberry Pi for your Kubernetes cluster? Yeah, well, maybe just the joy of experimenting with Raspberry Pis, and I wanted a dedicated cluster outside of my Proxmox device, so that I can, when I'm not in my office and when I don't need testing devices, I can shut down my Proxmox cluster, save some power, and I still have all my applications that I need and everything on a power efficient environment running on like 3 Raspberry Pis and a storage server that is not consuming too much power. And I can only turn on the Proxmox server when I'm in the studio and when I'm playing around with virtual machines and stuff. So that is the idea behind it. So mainly power efficiency, and also I just wanted to build something new. It's also a fun, cool project. So that's gonna be, yeah. Oh, that has been the main driver for doing this project. Yeah, and by the way, this video will also include a video on how to deploy K3s using kubevip. So a proper load balancing and a proper storage for the Raspberry Pis. So that's going to be a cool and interesting project. All right, so I hope I have to tell something in 2 weeks, but for now I need to go. It's some family time for me today. And yeah, let's catch up in 2 weeks in the live stream. I enjoy the next video that comes out on Tuesday, hopefully next week. And then, yeah, we can talk about the next 2 videos in the live stream. All right, guys, so thank you so much for your support. Thanks for being here. Thanks that I could share my honest thoughts with you and got some cool feedback. And yeah, don't miss the next videos. Let's meet on the Discord if you want to continue the discussion, and have a great day. So I'm out for today. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye bye.